So you're leaving for work and you need to get your dog in from the backyard, but your dog is busy chasing and barking at the birds. Or you're at a social gathering with your dog and they're having way too much fun playing to even know you exist. Maybe someone accidentally left the gate open and you see your dog about to leave for a solo adventure. Ruh-roh. Maybe your dog is barking like mad and your neighbor has been complaining, but your dog ignores you when you try to call your dog off. All right, now these are not just hypothetical situations, they're real life challenges that we face, yeah? And in these moments, our traditionally trained obedience recalls fall short. Why? Hi, I'm Kathy Kowalik, and I believe that our dogs connect us to the heart and soul of what really matters in life. So hang out, and we'll take a deep dive into the human-dog connection and explore strategies that will inspire you to create legendary, enlightened partnership with your dog. This is the Enlightened by Dogs podcast. Well, hello, it's Kathy, and in today's episode, we're talking about a crucial aspect of our relationship and our life with our dogs, the recall. But not just any old recall, we're talking about a natural invitation to connect that's built on a bond of love, trust, and understanding, not on transactional obedience training. Okay, so welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with us today. So let's imagine that you're out enjoying nature with your dog and you call your dog to come back to you because they're getting a little too far away for your comfort. But instead of joyfully bounding back, they're off chasing a bunny or making friends with another dog. You try to keep your cool and call again, maybe with a little more urgency. Maybe you even offer an enticing reward, but no, your dog is off on their own private adventure and you were not invited. All right, it's a common frustration, isn't it? But here's a perspective shift for you. It's not about your dog being disobedient. It's all about understanding and communication and connection. So let's talk for a minute about traditional reward-based obedience recall training. We're relying on the effectiveness of our training skills and on having a reward to offer our dog as payment for their compliance. And because we're relying on that transactional exchange, the reward needs to be better than chasing that bunny or playing with a friend. And that's a pattern that gets us onto the recall struggle bus and often causes us to feel frustrated or embarrassed when our dogs don't respond as expected. Now, the other thing that leads to trust leaking instead of trust and confidence building is that obedience training sets unrealistic expectations, and we end up assuming that our dogs should respond kind of mechanically to our cues or our commands without consideration for their feelings, their needs, or like what's happening around them at the time. And that expectation of compliance is what sets us up for failure and frustration instead of success and delight. This approach can lead to misunderstandings on both sides, right? Us and our dog. Dogs might associate your recall cue with negative experiences, which further contributes to making them hesitate or not come, or doing so very, very reluctantly. We become afraid to trust our dogs, and so they lose freedom. And let's face it, so do we, because then we end up needing to micromanage our dogs. And it becomes an endlessly repeating cycle of command, frustration, and disappointment, both for us and for our dogs. Okay, so let's flip that script, shall we? Imagine creating a relationship where your dog feels safe, secure, understood, and thrilled to be with you. It's all about building a partnership connection so strong that your dog chooses to stay close and responds happily when you do call. I call that becoming a love magnet. And in our upcoming workshop, which is called Better Than a Recall, Become a Love Magnet for Your Dog, we're going to dive deep into this philosophy, but let's talk a little bit more about it right now. And so this idea of being a love magnet is about invitations, not commands, where our dog naturally feels that being with us is the best part of their day. It's more about understanding the unique language of your dog and communicating in ways that invite trust and cooperation between the two of you. Now, each dog is an individual, of course, with their own personality and quirks and traits and preferences and sensitivities. And recognizing this, we can tailor our approach so that it's like customized for each of our dogs. And this understanding transforms our everyday interactions, making each time we call our dog a moment of connection and joy. So it reminds me about one of my clients, Sarah, and her border collie, Max. So Max was kind of a free spirit. Now, some might label Max, a dog like Max, stubborn or willful or independent, and believe that Max was choosing to be disobedient. Maybe because he just didn't care enough about his dog mom. Well, as you might imagine, recalling Max was an ongoing struggle. But when Sarah shifted her approach and focused on building trust and understanding and putting connection first, that's really important, Max began to see her as a source of security and happiness. And pretty quickly, Max's response to Sarah's calls changed from hesitation to eagerness and joy even. And Sarah found out that often she didn't even need to call Max because he was just attentive and responsive kind of all the time. Now, as you can tell, this approach creates a deeper connection, it reduces stress, and it definitely brings more joy to our lives with our dogs. Like, who doesn't want that, right? Now, let's acknowledge that as dog moms, there are times when calling our dog is a normal part of life, and we do need our dogs to be responsive. Like, picture the scenarios. So you're leaving for work and you need to get your dog in from the backyard, but your dog is busy chasing and barking at the birds. Or you're at a social gathering with your dog and they're having way too much fun playing to even know you exist. Maybe someone accidentally left the gate open and you see your dog about to leave for a solo adventure. Ruh-roh. Maybe your dog is barking like mad and your neighbor has been complaining, but your dog ignores you when you try to call your dog off. All right, now these are not just hypothetical situations. They're real life challenges that we face, yeah? And in these moments, our traditionally trained obedience recalls fall short. Why? Because it's based on expectations that don't consider our dog's emotional state, or that there is simply no reward at that moment that is, well, more rewarding than whatever's got your dog's attention. And it most definitely doesn't consider the bond that we share with our dogs as being much more impactful than a good treat or a fun toy. Now imagine transforming these everyday challenges with a completely different approach that I've developed and have been teaching to thousands of dog moms for decades. And of course, this is how I live my own life with my own dogs. Being a love magnet means that your dog chooses to come to you without being commanded to, that your dog stays close. Your dog always has like one ear on you, one eye on you, and your dog finds joy and security in your presence. That's a bond that transcends any type of distraction. Now, in our workshop that's coming up, Better Than a Recall, Become a Love Magnet for Your Dog, we'll explore shifting from commands to invitations for connection. We'll learn to communicate in a language that our dogs understand and appreciate. And so do we. It's really natural. It feels so good to us. It's a language of love and trust and mutual respect instead of commanding and demanding and rewarding. Now, imagine you're at the beach with your dog, and instead of worrying about your dog running off, imagine them checking in with you without being asked to, staying close without being prompted to, and coming back eagerly and instantly when you do call, not out of obedience, but out of an eagerness to be with you. This is the power of being a love magnet and learning our partnership principles and skills and our dance invitation and all the things that I teach you. We'll delve into just how simple it is to create this magical bond with your dog. Understanding your dog's unique personality and needs and sensitivities can and will transform your daily life, your walks, your family gatherings, your outdoor adventures into experiences of connection and cooperation. And that's what we all want, yeah? And so if you're ready to move beyond recall frustration and into a world where your dog comes to you because they love to, join us on February 11th for our Better Than a Recall, Become a Love Magnet for Your Dog workshop. This workshop is an exclusive perk for our Brilliant Partners Academy members. It is so cool. You can get access to this workshop and a robust suite of amazing resources, including personal coaching support, when you join Brilliant Partners Academy, or BPA for short. BPA is your roadmap for becoming the dog mom that you want to be, so that you can have the life that you dream of with your dogs. That's what we do. BPA is starting at $33 a month with our annual plan. There's a 7-day money-back guarantee. And we'd really love to have you. So if you're listening to this episode when it was first published, then please join us live. Or if you can't attend live because of the date, or if you're listening in later, join us in BPA anyway, as soon as you hear this, where you'll find the replay and workbook for this special exclusive workshop, plus a full library of over 45 workshops that you can enjoy at your own pace. You could join us at dancinghearts.co/BPA become a love magnet. Now, let me summarize this episode with a few tips that you could use right away. Number one, it's about inviting our dogs to connect, not commanding them to comply. 2, instead of expecting obedience, we should focus on expressing love and on strengthening the bond that we have with our dogs. 3, genuine invitations open up a dialogue and a flow of loving connection, which fosters a deep sense of intimacy and understanding and harmony. 4, invitations are about heart to heart and heart to mind connections and physical and energetic connections with our dogs. 5, invitations to connect require an open-hearted anticipation rather than an expected compliance. And number 6, connecting, not commanding, is key to fostering a delightfully brilliant relationship with our dogs. And isn't that what we all want more than anything? I think so, and I'll bet you do too. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please share this episode with a friend, with your dog friends. It would be much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you at the workshop, where we'll enjoy a journey to deeper, more joyful partnership with our dogs. Bye-bye for now. Be brilliant. Thanks so much for listening. And hey, if you would like to work with me so that I can help you discover the missing pieces you need so that you and your dog can finally be happy and enjoy life together, then head on over to dancingheartsdogacademy.com and request your invitation to join us in the Brilliant Partners Academy when the doors open for the next enrollment. See you next time, and remember, a brilliant partnership with your dog makes your whole life brilliant.